everyone, and welcome to the third episode of our All Axes live event series. I'm Dan Yonka, president of the Mazak Corporation, and I'm joining you today from our iSmart factory here in Florence, Kentucky. You know, the last 8 months have been a challenge for the entire manufacturing community. But I can assure you that hasn't slowed the Mazak team down from developing a whole new generation of machines, CNC control, and related automation technology that's specifically designed to improve the productivity for the job shops. We're especially excited to be streaming from our production facilities today because it's where we design and build Mazak's new EZ series of machines, which we're launching right here over the course of the next hour. You'll be the very first manufacturers to see the new QT-EZ and VC-EZ machines, as well as the new Mazatrol SmoothEz CNC control that powers them. For our EZ series of machines, the name says it all. We've shattered the barriers to ownership and have made it easier than ever before to afford Mazak technology. But don't think for a second that we've skimped on performance to do so. The EZ machines are far from what you'd call a commodity series. Instead, these machines offer a perfect balance between price and life cycle cost to deliver the lowest total cost of ownership in the industry. While we offer them at a very affordable price, they provide extreme reliability and will hold their resale value better than any other comparable machine on the market today. And keep in mind, the machines are backed by the industry's best customer support network here at Mazak. The EZ series of machines are powered by our new Mazatrol SmoothEz control. And like all Mazak Mazatrol controls, SmoothEz will have even your least experienced operators programming and running your new EZ machines in the shortest amount of time possible. And whether you program at the machine or from the front office, the SmoothEz control gives you both conversational and EIA ISO programming options. At Mazak, we often say, give us a week and we'll give you a programmer. And speaking of ease of use and ownership, during today's event, you'll also learn how the Mazak Finance Department can provide you a simple, one-stop shopping experience with quick turnarounds and special rates for the launch of the EZ series. So, without further ado, let's meet the new EZ series of machines and the new Mazatrol SmoothEz control.
Thanks, Dan, and thanks to all of you for joining us today. My name is Teelan Henderson, and I'm a product specialist here at Mazak. I'm also your host for today's very special All Axes live event. Before we get started, let's talk about what you can expect over the course of the next hour. On the left side of your screen, you'll see our library of on-demand machine demos. If you want to check these out at any time, click away. You can always rejoin the main program whenever you're ready. If you've got questions, you can ask them at any time through the questions window on the right side of your screen. We'll pause for Q&A after each module and then again at the end of the event. We'll try to answer as many questions as possible, but if we can't get to your question on air today, a Mazak representative will be in touch with you soon to make sure you get the information that you need. Now, as I mentioned a moment ago, this is a very special episode of All Axes Live, and one you're going to be glad you didn't miss. In the early 80s, Mazak introduced the first truly conversational controls to the machine tool industry. It was our vision to take the power of CNC programming and put it into the hands of the operators on the shop floor. Today, we're taking that one step, well, one really huge leap further, with the launch of the Mazak EZ family of machines. The EZ line makes Mazak performance and quality more affordable than ever before to shops of any size. Our EZ series of vertical machining and turning centers are easy to install and simple to maintain. An attractive starting price point and aggressive financing options make the EZ machine a Mazak every shop can own. And they're all backed by our world-class support network. We'll be discussing both finance and support soon. Today's entire episode will be focused on the power, capabilities, and ease of use of the EZ line. First, we'll have a look at the new QT-EZ line of turning machines, and then explore our VC-EZ vertical machining center. Finally, we'll show you up close how easy the Mazatrol SmoothEz CNC really is. So with those housekeeping items covered, let's take a closer look at the QT-EZ series.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rick Bramstead, and I'm the Advantech Product Manager for the QT-EZ series of new turning centers. These turning centers were designed and will be built in our Mazak, Florence iSmart factory located right across the street. These are very affordable and very compact turning centers that will work in job shops on up to large manufacturers. We've tried to keep things simple with the EZ, and each of these models is based on a chuck size. 3 different models. The QT-EZ8 is an 8-inch chuck, the QT-EZ10 is a 10-inch chuck, and the QT-EZ12 is a 12-inch chuck. Each of these series also is available in a 2-axis version, an M version for milling, an MY version, milling and Y-axis, and an MSY. I would highly recommend going with at least an MY if you've got milling work to do. The Y-axis is a very valuable tool for keyways and off-center milling and drilling. Features of the QT-EZ turning centers, all of them, 2-axis and the multitasking, is our new Mazatrol SmoothEz CNC control. Very user-friendly, very powerful control. Mr. Kenzie Roden will be talking much more about this in detail in just a few minutes. These machines come in both 20 and 40-inch bed lengths. The 40-inch bed lengths are the EZ12 only. The 20-inch is the EZ8, the EZ10, and the EZ12. The new casting has been designed for a very wide area for chip flow. As I mentioned, this will allow the chips to get out of the machine. Chips generate heat, heat generates thermal changes, so we want to get these hot chips out of the machine. It's a very compact bed design, very rigid design. These machines are very powerful. Integral motor headstock. All these machines also come with an integral motor headstock, like all of our turning products out of our Florence facility. Mazak's been doing the integral motor headstock for over 30 years, the mid-80s, so we're very familiar with this concept. You have very little maintenance. You don't have any belts, pulleys to affect surface finish, spindle vibration, chatter, that type of thing. All these machines, again, like all of our products out of our Florence iSmart factory, are equipped with Mazak roller guides. This is for the X, Y, and Z axis. These roller guides are a very rigid linear motion system. All machines also come with a 12-position turret. The 2-axis machines is a 12-position drum-style turret. The multitasking machines have a milling turret with a rotary tool spindle. Again, thermal stability was a goal with the bed design of this machine. We've got thermal sensors placed throughout the machine to sense any change in thermal growth, to offset tools, and the opening for the enhanced chip flow and the Mazak roller guide system are all standard features. We've also looked at our common options. We tend to find that most of our turning centers do have a set of very common options, so we've taken these options and we've worked with pricing and got them so they fit the scope of the EZ products. For instance, the automatic tool eye. Every lathe we sell should have an automatic tool eye on it. This is a valuable accessory, not only for setting up tools, touch off tools and set them up. You can update your offsets, but for production runs. So you can monitor part size based on tool wear. Throughout a part run, you can bring the tool eye down automatically in the part program, touch your tools off, and you can update your tool offsets in to keep consistent part quality. High pressure coolant is another valuable option. High pressure coolant can dramatically increase tool life and improve surface finishes. And again, it helps to keep the chips out of the cutting zone. Get that heat out of the cutting zone. More and more we're seeing customers, large shops, small shops especially, going to robotics. We offer various different size robotic systems. We're going to be displaying our collaborative CC10 robot later today. We offer full engineered systems as well as just an interface. If certain customers want to do their own robot integration. We can offer a robot interface, which communicates with a control to the robot, an automatic door, which is a must. We also offer bar feeders for unattended operation. Bar feeders can run very long time. Most bar feeders these days have rack system to store extra bars, so you can have a very long unattended operation. With the parts catcher with the bar feeder is an automatic parts catcher to catch the parts, and then a work exit conveyor to get the parts out of the cutting zone. We will display these features on our QT12 MSY. And if you're running multiple machines in an unattended atmosphere, one operator can easily monitor all those machines with our 3-color status light to determine what status that operation's in. Today, the QT-EZ10 and MY will have a 10-inch chuck. This machine is a 4,200 RPM spindle, 20 horsepower spindle, 144 foot-pounds of torque, and 2.5-inch bar capacity. This is an A26 spindle nose. Max cutting diameter is 13.5 inches. However, there will be very few instances you'll be cutting at 13.5 inches, but this does illustrate how much interference-free zone you have in the work area. The rotary tools are a Mazak style bolt-on tooling. This is a 20-inch bed that's offered. We don't offer a 40 on the 10, just a 20-inch bed. And rapid traverse rates are 1181X, 1417Z. This machine is also equipped with the optional servo-driven tailstock. And I'd like to turn it over to Mazak Patel to talk about our demo.
Hi, good morning. My name is Mazak. I'm an applications engineer here at Mazak. For this demonstration, this first part here shows you the op 10 of the demonstration. The second piece is op 20, where I'll be using the servo-driven tailstock that Rick mentioned, and this is the final demonstration. So let's go ahead and begin with the demo. Here we're showing facing operation with roughs and finishes, and then we move on to the OD turning. Next we'll be using a U-drill to drill on center. We're performing a boring operation here with the rough and a finishing tool. This we're doing the finishing facing and finish OD. Here we're making a circular drilling pattern on the face of the part. Here we're going to face the front of the part. Next we're using a center drill to make a hole on the center of the part. This shows the servo-driven tailstock being engaged with a heavy depth of cut on the outer diameter. This shows some OD turning. This is the finish for the OD turning. Here we're doing some grooving on the outer diameter. Next, we're going to be using an end mill to make a hex-shaped figure, and this shows the y-axis stroke of the machine. The maximum y-axis stroke is 4 inches, however I'm only using 1 inch. Next, I'm performing some pocket milling with an end mill, which also shows the y-axis stroke. Here I'm drilling on center to make a through hole. This shows some boring. And this is the smooth engraving function that we have on the Easy Control.
Okay, now we're going to talk about our QT8 Easy Turning Center. This will be shown with a CC10 automated robot system. This is a 5,000 RPM spindle, A26 spindle nose, 2-inch bar capacity, 20 horsepower and 123 foot-pounds of torque. The bed is a 20-inch bed. This is a 2-axis, so it's got our 2-axis drum turret, and our rapid traverse rates are a very quick 1181 and 1417 inches per minute, X and Z. Mike?
Thanks, Rick. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mike Buxton, and I'm delighted to once again present for Mazak Automation Systems, your partner for standard and custom automation solutions for your Mazaks. Well, it's 2020, and we're in an ongoing global pandemic. While we're all feeling huge fluctuations in capacity, at the same time, we're facing all sorts of other challenges, trying to decrease labor costs, compensate for lack of experienced CNC operators, achieve shorter turnaround times, and fulfill the increased demand for automation. While COVID continues to threaten our workforce stability, a great way to even out this trend is to employ a machine tending robot and maximize your machine runtime hours. Back in August, I introduced you to 2 options that we offer that are great for automation first-timers, the Turn Assist series and the Mill Assist series. Now, please let me introduce you to the CC10, one of Mazak's 2 new Cobot cell options for those who are comfortable doing a little bit more. They're simple, cost-effective, and ready-made, with plenty of customizability. So let's see how it works, okay? When you order your cell, it comes in either 2 flavors, a 16-kilogram payload robot with shorter reach, or a 10-kilogram payload robot with full reach. Each comes standard with safety guarding and a safety area scanner that protects users from harmful pinch points, such as clamps or chucks. Next, we've got 3 selections of grippers to choose from. We have a standard centric for your simple parts, a double gripper if you're looking for more versatility, and finally, we have a linear gripper if you're looking for more complex parts with more stroke. you'll lay your parts out on the table according to a grid template. These templates are orderable through Mazak with standard sizes, or you can simply laser cut your own. Extra templates are easily stored underneath the cart. This cart is on wheels, though you might not be able to see it here, which means you can wheel it up to any pre-configured machine on your floor and add anchors, reteach your spindle, and away you go. Each spindle comes with each cell comes with a sample program to get you started programming with all the machine interfacing done for you. However, we've left it flexible and you can control the structure of your program. Just drag and drop what you like into the program and it's that easy. Because they're Cobots, I can move them in different ways. I can move them in the traditional jog fashion, or I can use what's called manual guided teaching and move the robot that way. If you're interested and would like to know more, reach out to your Mazak sales representative. Now I'm going to toss it over to Drew, and he's going to do a little demonstration for us.
Thanks, Mike. Hi, my name's Drew Bruneman, and I'm an applications engineer here at Mazak. Today's demonstration will consist of 2 operations, an op10 and an op20. These operations consist of OD and ID turning, some grooving, along with drilling and threading. Today's material is 3-inch 4140 steel. Now let's go and make some chips. So currently what we're seeing here is the robot will load a raw stock of material into the chuck jaws for preparation for op10. Alright, as we start op10 with the facing operation, this operation is using an 80-degree turning tool. After the facing operation, we are turning the OD of the part using the same 80-degree tool as the facing unit. The next operation on op10 is grooving. The grooving operation utilizes an 1/8-inch grooving tool. There will be 2 grooves made on this operation. Now we will start on groove number 2. Continuing along with op10, there will be a drilling operation using a 40mm insert drill. And following along with the drilling operation, a boring operation is performed to improve the cylindricity of the hole. And finishing out op10, there will be another facing operation to remove any burrs caused by one of the previous operations. So now that machining has finished on operation 10, we will now take the operation 10 completed part out and set it on the robotic table. As the robot takes the flip Op10 part, it's going to then place the demo part back into the chuck for operation 20. Now that the robot has returned home, we will start machining operation 20. Now that the robot has placed the piece back into the machine, we will continue with Op 20. Op 20 begins with facing the part to the length using the 80-degree turning tool. We are continuing Op 20 with more OD turning using a 55-degree turning tool. Now, utilizing a boring bar with an 80-degree insert, we are boring the hole 2 sides in preparation for the threading operation. The next operation uses an 1/8" ID grooving tool to create a relief. And now for the last operation for this Op 20 will be a threading operation. Now that machining on operation 20 has completed, the robot will take the finished part out of the machine. And as the robot places our part back on the table, this will conclude our demonstration for the QT Easy 8. Now we will send you over to Rick for the QT Easy 12.
Okay, now we're going to talk about the QT Easy 12 MSY turning center. 12 MSY, this machine has milling, second spindle, and a Y-axis. Easy 12 has a 12-inch through-hole chuck package, 3,300 RPM, 30 horsepower, and 144 foot-pounds of torque. This is by far the most powerful Easy we make. 3-inch bar capacity and a larger spindle nose, 828 to handle the 12-inch chuck. 13.5-inch max cutting diameter, but as I said before, there's going to be very few instances where you're cutting that large of a diameter, but we've got a very interference-free zone. The tooling is a bolt-on style, Mazak bolt-on style rotary tooling. The 12 MSY is available in 20 and 40-inch bed lengths, whereas the 8 and 10 are 20 only. This is available in a 40-inch bed length. Rapid traverse rates for the 20-inch machine are 1181X and 1417Z, and for the 40-inch machine, 1181X and 1181Z. The QT Easy 12 MSY has a second spindle. The 8 and the 10 have a second spindle. I didn't get a chance to talk about them earlier because we were going to talk about the 12 MSY second spindle, but just to give you some brief specs on the second spindle for the 8 and the 10, which are identical. 6,000 RPM, 10 horsepower. The 8 has a 5-inch chuck and the 10 has a 6-inch chuck. Both are 825 spindle noses, and they both have full C-axis capability. This second spindle on the 12 MSY is also a 6,000 RPM spindle, 15 horsepower, 6-inch chuck and 825, and again, full C-axis capability. The rotary tool, I didn't go into it too much on the 10MY, but the 8 and the 10 for the rotary spindle, they're a 6,000 RPM, 7.5 horsepower mill spindle. The Y-axis on the 8 and the 10 Y machines, the MY and the MSY, is 4 inches, +2 and -2, above and below center line. The rotary spindle on the 12 MSY is a bit more powerful. It's a 6,000 RPM spindle still, but this is a 10 horsepower with 26.5 foot-pounds of torque. This Y-axis is the same, 4 inches total, 2 above and 2 inches below center. Now I'd like to turn it over to Dan for our machine demo.
Thank you, Rick. Hi, my name is Dan Whitman. I'm an applications engineer here at Mazak. For this demonstration, we'll be running 3-inch 1045 bar stock with a max length of 63 inches. Right here you can see an example of the bar stock, and also here is our finished part after operation on head 1 and head 2. This system incorporates an LNS bar feed, an automatic part ejector, an automatic part catcher, and an automatic exit conveyor. And now, enough talking, let's run the part. So here you can see a facing finishing operation on the front of the part. Next we move into some OD turning that will create the outer profile of the part. There you can see a taper being cut. And moving into a finish pass on the outer profile. After this, 4 flats will be milled on the outside of the cylinder. These flats are all equally spaced apart. Inside of each of these flats, there is a hole as well as a pocket. This hole also has a thread that is milled into it. In this process, you can see those flats being created right now. Here you can see a hole being created using the circle milling function and a 1/2-inch end mill. And here is that small pocket that sits just above the hole. To create the threads, a 5/8 11 thread mill is used, and the circle milling function is used as well to wrap around the outside and create those threads. Next we move into a line center operation that moves across the face of the part. This line center uses the X and C milling function. This is a finish pass for that line center. From there we moved into the transfer. So the second spindle came up, and now the parting tool will approach to do its part off. In this function, both heads are synced together. Once the cutting is complete, the W axis will retract and go back to home. From there, we move into a simple facing operation to bring the part down to the proper size. After this, we begin milling or turning the outside profile. It's also showing a finish pass on this outside profile. After this, a hole is drilled into the center of the part. It is about 1.5 inches deep. And this hole is then bored out larger and giving a taper using a boring bar. Showing a finishing pass for the boring bar. After this is complete, the W-axis will move up, parts catcher will extend, chuck will open, W-axis will move back, and the parts catcher will retract. And this concludes this demonstration.
Okay, and now we're going to open it up to some questions. We have a Q&A session for the QT Easy series.
Hey, good morning, Rick.
Morning, Keelan.
So thanks for walking us through the QTEZ series. Before we get to the questions, I just want to say we're getting a lot of great questions, one of my favorite problems. So we're not going to get to them all on air, but if you've asked a question and we don't get to it, we will be in touch with you as soon as possible so you get all the information you need. Is that on the right? Is the folding chip conveyor something new to Mazak?
The folding chip conveyor is not new to Mazak. We've been doing that now for well over a year. It helps save some shipping costs and such, get more equipment on a truck that way. It's new for the EZ. The folding style for the EZ will be attached to the machine, the QTEZ. So that will also save some shipping costs as well.
Interesting. Does the sub spindle allow for C-axis interpolation or just? Rick, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear some other voices too.
Let me ask again. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty. This happens when you go live. So does the sub spindle allow for C-axis interpolation or just position?
No. The second spindle is a full C-axis. So we can do contouring just like the main spindle, just a smaller chuck.
Oh, okay. So, okay, this one's more about the Cobot. Is there really an increased request for automation, or is that just something?
Oh, yes, definitely. Not only is there an increase of requests for us to supply the automation on a new machine, but I've seen a dramatic increase in customers with existing machines looking for the preparatory functions that I'd mentioned earlier. The auto door, the robot interface, that type of thing. And more and more, yes, and more with new machines, not only are they asking for us to quote the Cobot or our Turn Assist products, but also asking for us to prep the machines as well. So,
okay, to future-proof a little bit.
Correct.
Well, hey, thank you, Rick.
Okay, thanks everybody for attending, and I'd like to wish everybody a safe and happy holiday. Thank you.
So now we're going to talk a little bit about how Mazak can help with financing.
One of the things that can be daunting when purchasing a new machine is securing financing. But Mazak has Mazak Capital Equipment Financing to help and make sure that everything goes smoothly. To give you an insight about what it's like to work with us is Sarah Worley, Finance Placement Specialist with Mazak. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Thielen.
So once a customer's decided Mazak is the right solution for them and they're interested in financing, what's their next step?
Their next step would be to contact us, which they can find our contact information on the Mazak USA website under the financing tab.
Yep.
Or they can reach out to their salesman or any other way they would normally contact Mazak
Normal
Corporation.
channels, they'll get in touch with us. So, and once they reach out to us, what are we going to ask them to do next?
We'll ask them to complete a credit application, which can be found online. It takes 5, maybe 10 minutes to fill it out. It's pretty easy.
And what if this company's a startup?
We can help startups. We've financed many startups in the past, so.
And what if they're located in Canada or Mexico?
Mazak can assist with that as well.
Why would a customer work with us instead of a bank where they already have a pre-existing relationship?
So Mazak Capital Equipment Financing is a department within Mazak Corporation. So it's your one-stop shop where you can buy the machine, finance the machine. You know, we have access to all the departments, shipping.
So from
all that.
financing to installation, all under one umbrella, all streamlined.
Exactly.
And from the bank's perspective, how are Mazak machines viewed?
So Mazak equipment's considered tier 1. So it's got the better resale value, long life, you know, it's just overall good collateral. So we get better rates for our equipment than some others.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Up next, we're going to take an up-close look at the VCEZ series.
Thanks, Teelan. Hi, I'm Mike Flaherty with Mazak, coming to you from Florence, Kentucky, and welcome to our All Axes live event. Mazak is thrilled to introduce to you the all-new VC EZ20 vertical milling machine. Completely designed from the ground up with ease of use and affordability in mind. Mazak's team of engineers set out to design a product that not only delivers the same machining performance that Mazak customers have come to know for the last century, but one that is easy to set up and run in a package that's easy to afford. The VC EZ20 is the first in an all-new series of vertical machining centers that incorporates improved ergonomic and convenience features, as well as a brand new, easy-to-use control at a price point that will allow your enterprise to achieve optimum profitability. The VC EZ20 features a very sturdy C-frame design with X and Y movement achieved by a traveling table and saddle mounted to the base of the machine, so that cutting forces are always centered over the strongest portion of the structure. The VC EZ20 boasts over 41 inches of stroke from side to side in the X direction, up to 25 inches up and down in Z, and the 20 inches of Y travel from front to back is where the VC EZ20 gets its name. This allows for the machining of workpieces just over 49 inches wide, 19 inches deep, and a little over 22 inches tall on a table that can support just over 2,200 pounds. The VC EZ platform offers you the choice of either a 12,000 or 15,000 RPM Cat 40 spindle and either a 30 or 50 tool magazine. The machine uses a linear roller guideway system for maximum rigidity while reducing static and dynamic friction, along with pre-tension ball screws to minimize the effects caused by thermal expansion. This allows the VC EZ20 to take full advantage of its 1654 inch per minute rapid travel rates, which are some of the fastest offered by any other machine in its class. The headstock features a direct drive spindle powered by a Mitsubishi AC inverter motor mounted to the frame. The motor contains two separate sets of windings in order to achieve optimal torque across a wider range of RPMs. The 12,000 RPM spindle can put out up to 25 horsepower with over 70 foot-pounds of available torque, while the 15K version kicks those numbers up to almost 30 horsepower and over 80 foot-pounds of torque. Both of these 40 taper spindles utilize ceramic angular contact bearings inside of steel races to reduce the contact area and minimize thermal growth in order to achieve better accuracy and prolonged spindle life. The 12K spindle is lubricated by grease, while the 15K version uses a combination of oil and air seen on many high-speed platforms. The VC EZ20 comes standard with a 30-tool drum magazine, but for a small additional cost, customers can choose to upgrade to the 50-tool chain magazine for increased tool capacity, reducing the need for additional tool setup time sometimes required when switching over from one job to another. Once the tools have been loaded into the machine, the automatic tool changer can swap them in and out of the spindle in just 2.2 seconds. The magazine area provides ample clearance to accommodate tools up to 13.78 inches in length and up to 5.94 inches in diameter, with adjacent pockets empty, of course. When an adjacent pocket is occupied, the space between each pocket allows for tools almost 3 inches in diameter. The heaviest tool the VC EZ20 can change is just over 17.5 pounds. One of the many ergonomic features implemented into this newly designed machine is the increased reach capability for a crane into the door opening from overhead. This, combined with an opening width greater than that of the table, allows for an easier time when loading and unloading larger parts in and out of the machine. And the table sits high enough off the ground, but not too high, so that operators can tighten down fixtures and workpieces at a comfortable height. The center of the spindle is positioned just over 32 inches from the outside front sheet metal of the machine, which makes loading and unloading tools as well as any test bar work or probe calibration that much easier. All that space inside the machine makes it hard to believe just how much its footprint has been reduced when compared to previous Mazak verticals. When equipped with the newly available single screw chip auger, the overall amount of space needed to fit this machine onto your shop floor has decreased by over 26%. That's something to consider when selecting machines to be incorporated into an automated cell or production line for optimal takt time efficiency. The Easy Tool Station option and quick disconnect ports for optional air and coolant nozzles are located right at the front of the machine have been added as well. These are just a few of the many options available on the VC EZ20 for added convenience and workspace efficiency, which makes this machine even more easy to run. Additional options include through spindle coolant, an easy to clean coolant filter tray, cover coolant, various probe measuring and rotary table options, and when keeping the cutting surface cool and chip breaking are of the utmost importance, Niagara coolant and 1000 psi through the spindle superflow are available as well. Another brand new option now available with the VC EZ is the programmable coolant nozzle. The nozzle is mounted to the spindle head and the spray direction can be controlled from outside of the machine, eliminating the need for repeated manual adjustment between jobs. Either set the controller to remember a position for each individual tool number or call an M code with your Mazatrol or EIA program to direct the coolant where you want it, when you want it. The nozzle has an over 180-degree range of motion and can even oscillate back and forth as needed to keep chips from piling up on your work surface without opening the door. Once chips have been washed off the table, they fall to the bottom of the machine where customers can then choose to remove them with the economically friendly single auger system, which uses a single screw mounted to the front of the machining area to push chips out the side, or the foldable hinge style conveyor that uses 4 augers to help move chips towards the front, where they are then carried out the side by the conveyor. Both options are fully integrated into the sheet metal structure of the machine and are shipped as one unit, reducing the amount of time required for installation as well as shipping costs. Up to 3 of these machines, along with all necessary accessories, can be loaded onto just one trailer. And since the machine can be lifted with a forklift, rigging and setting the machine into place is just as easy. Well, there you have it, the all-new VC EZ20. Reliable Mazak performance equipped with several enhanced features designed to boost your productivity and control costs. With Mazak's signature speed, accuracy, and durability all wrapped into one competitively priced package, you can't afford not to make Mazak your partner for innovation. It's that easy. Now, our very own Nolan Schwabel is going to demonstrate making a part on the machine. Nolan?
Thank you, Mike. My name is Nolan Schwabel, and I'm an applications engineer here at the Mazak Corporation. To get into the machine, this machine behind us is equipped with the 12,000 RPM, 25 horsepower spindle, as well as the 30 tool magazine. It also has the programmable coolant nozzle, the flood coolant, as well as the chip auger. There's also a few features on this machine that are used to increase productivity, such as the handheld coolant gun, the Easy Tool Station, as well as the dual probing kit. Now that we've talked about the machine a little bit, let's get into the demo. So for my demo, we started off with a 6-inch by 3-inch by 2-inch piece of raw stock that is 4140 steel. We have 2 operations for this demonstration, which will include 13 different processes to complete the part. Currently inside of the machine, we're utilizing 2 double vices That way we were able to hold 2 op10 parts as well as 2 op20 parts in one single setup. So now that we've talked about the demo a little bit, let's get into a closer look. So here we are at the beginning of the demo. First thing we're going to do is use the touch probe. We will find our X, Y, and Z work offsets. So now that we have our work offsets ready, we can start on op10. So for op10, the first thing we're going to do is take our 4-inch face mill and clean up our top surface. Next thing we're going to use is our 3/4 inch end mill. We'll go around our outside profile now to clean up the surface as well as get our part down to net size. And once we're finished with the outside wall, we're going to do our internal pocket with the same 3/4 end mill. This will be done using the Intelligent Pocket Milling toolpath. The Intelligent Pocket Milling toolpath allows us to maintain a constant angle of tool engagement while at full depth of the tool. This allows for an even load as well as wear on the tool, and it can also reduce the cycle time. So now we're going to use our 1/2-inch end mill to clean up the inside walls and do our finishing pass. Here you can see our programmable coolant nozzle, which we are using to clear out the piled up chips that were created from the Intelligent Pocket Milling. Once we're done with that, we're going to use our 1/4 inch end mill to create one of the pockets inside. And after the inside pocket done, we're going to bring out a 1/2-inch high feed mill to do a Intelligent Pocket Milling toolpath. After that, we're going to bring in our 3/8 finishing tool to finish the walls. Now we're doing our drilling for our 1/4-20 holes. And here we come and tap our 1/4-20 holes. So now that op10 is done, we're going to move on to op20. So we're going to bring back our 4-inch face mill and bring off the extra stock and bring the part to the correct height. Now we're going to use our 3/4 inch end mill to finish the outside profile. Next up is the 1/2-inch high feed mill to rough out the top surface of the part. And once roughed out, we're going to finish up the roughing. And we're going to use our 1/2-inch end mill to finish up our top surface and give it a So now our Mazatrol program is going to go out into a EIA sub-program, which we're going to do for the 3D profile. So here we're using a 1/2-inch end mill to rough out the 3D profile to near net shape. Now that we're done with that, we're going to use our 1/2-inch ball end mill to finish the profile. So this toolpath is using the smooth machining configuration that was talked about earlier, which allows for fine-tuning of your toolpaths to create a smoother, more accurate part when finishing. So now that our profile is finished, we're going to use our 1/2-inch high feed mill to rough out the pockets for the engraving. We'll now come back in with a 1/2-inch end mill to finish the floor of that pocket. And we will also use a 3/8 end mill to open up the corners for the pocket. Now we bring our 1/2-inch chamfer tool which will allow us to smooth off any sharp corners that we have on our part. And now we finish off the part using our smooth engraving feature to engrave the text into our part. We'll be using a 1/4 inch engraving tool for that. And that concludes our machine demonstration.
Hey, good morning, Mike.
Hi, Teelan.
So first off, I've been told that there was a little bit of a hiccup in terms of sound for the last question and answer, but that's just the charm of live entertainment in 2020, I guess. So if you did miss it, if you feel like you missed anything or have any questions, we'll be getting to all of your questions off the air, and we'll make sure you get all the information. So let's start with the VCEZ20. I think it's going to be very popular, and we've got a lot more good questions about this. Are there other sizes of the VCEZ available?
Yes, in the middle of next year, we plan to release the VCEZ16 with 16 inches of wide travel, as well as the 26 with 26 inches of wide travel.
And what about other spindle speeds? Will they be available for the EZ?
Yes, there is currently a 20,000 RPM spindle in development that will be available for release the middle of next year as well.
Okay, great. So, and then finally, I just want to give you, we're getting a lot of good questions today about price and delivery for these machines. And price and delivery are going to vary on models, of course, but for the most part, you can assume that machines are going to be 15 to 30% lower than previous generations. So the price is very attractive. Delivery is going to depend a lot on the configuration of your machine. So if you have more specific questions about this, I encourage you to contact your local Mazak sales representative. We're always happy to help. So, Mike, thank you very much for your time. And now we're going to discuss the ease of installation with the EZ series.
When we set out to develop the EZ series of machines, we wanted to make sure they were simple to install so our customers could start cutting chips as soon as possible. Joining me today to discuss some of the design changes we made to these machines is Jason Feitz, Service Manager for North America. Good morning, Jason.
Morning.
So tell me about some of the design changes we made to these machines to make sure they were simple to install.
We've redesigned the machine sheet metal. Ability to bring the machine in with a fork truck.
Yeah.
And we integrated the chip auger system into the machine.
So if a customer can bring it in on a fork truck, they might not even need to hire a rigger in some cases.
That is correct.
And with the integrated chip system, there's none of the complexities that come with chip conveyors.
Nope, because it comes integrated from the factory.
Gotcha. So then what are the steps to install this machine?
You're going to bring the machine in. You're going to rough level the machine, power and air, final level, options, and training.
Gotcha. So how long does installation like this take?
Everything is right, about a day.
So about a day, up cutting chips, making parts?
Correct.
Cool. How about the foundation requirements for this machine?
Same as any other Mazak machine, 4 to 6 inches of concrete, but you don't need an isolation pad.
Oh, okay. So after installation, if a customer feels they need additional training, what does Mazak offer?
We offer 3 years of programming training that can be taken at any Mazak facility or distributor facility.
Oh, so 3 years, unlimited, included with the price of the machine?
Correct.
Got it. And what about service parts? Where are they located?
We stock service parts here in Florence, Kentucky, in our industry-leading parts operation where we stock $50 million worth of parts and we ship 95% same day.
Same day.
Yep.
Okay. And what about warranty on these machines?
Same as any other Mazak, 2 years bumper to bumper.
Complete machine, covers the whole thing?
Correct, bumper to bumper.
Well, that's great. Hey, thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Up next, we're going to take a look at the brains behind the EZ machines, the Mazatrol SmoothEz controls.
Thanks, Teelan. My name is Kenzie Roden, and I'm a product specialist here at Mazak Corporation. And today I'm going to introduce you to the new SmoothEz control. Why Mazatrol SmoothEz? First of all, we've got full EIA ISO G-code programming. This allows you to use programs from another machine or even another control. We also come with Mazatrol conversational programming, easy to learn, easy to use. Mazatrol programming also comes with customizable feeds and speed sets. Programming productivity features include smooth engraving, in-process machine tuning for SMC, and performance milling and turning capabilities in our Mazatrol. We also offer toolpath check for both EIA and Mazatrol programming languages. Our tool data screen is a graphical interface, as you can see here, that allows you to set up your tools, set up your wear comps, also allows you to do redundant and tool life, which gives you the capability to optimize your machine for the best process available. And all this comes in an intuitive control structure that reduces new users' learning curve. Our new user interface comes with a 15-inch capacitive touchscreen, full on-screen keyboard, custom screens and layouts, new raised button design, and a new launcher screen. Our new 15-inch monitor is a touchscreen or a 15-inch capacitive touchscreen layout, offering you a lot of visual real estate. The full on-screen keyboard, right here, can be used in keyboard mode with numerical input. Can also go into a calculator mode to help input that into certain features and fields. And we also have our on-screen touchscreen for our maintenance features for our machine controls, ATC, coolant, and all other maintenance features that you would need. One of the nice features we've done with this control is we've given you the ability to customize part of your position screen. What this allows you to do is create tool data, your setup information, or your tool comps or your program monitor right on this screen, so it can be easily integrated to help you be more efficient. So you can see once we've done that, then we can change this custom layout to be ergonomically correct for each individual user. So I can move each of these features up and down. I've got 4 tile boxes there, and it really creates a very nice graphical interface for the operator. Our launcher screen, so up here on any screen in the control, you can touch the upper top left corner. This is going to introduce you to our launcher screen. Our launcher screen is like the table of contents for our control. You can see here we've got main categories: machining, program, tool data, setup, maintenance, and settings. And then underneath these, you've got nice icons instructing you to which page, position, trace, tool offsets. This screen really helps reduce new users as far as the learning curves for our SmoothEz control. So at any time, if I touch one of these screens, it'll take me to the said screen. If I go back, it'll also give me my last 3 screens that I touched up at the top. So if you get into a position where you forgot a screen you're in, you can easily go right back to it. Some enhanced productivity features are our new SMC machining configuration functions. Okay? In our SMC, that allows you to, via an M code, to tune the machine automatically for roughing, semi-finish, or finishing passes. This creates optimal cycle time and enhances your productivity. Some of our new additions to that are the ability to tune rotary axis separately, an I/O for optimal tuning modes, and expanded presets so you can have more of those M codes to help you be more productive for a various family of parts. In addition to that, one of the features we really like inside of our Mazatrol programming, we have what's called Quick Mazatrol. So with the touch of a button, I can now give you a 3D representation of the part that you've just programmed. So that helps give operators a sense of ease and understanding before they ever hit cycle start. At any time, I can come and touch on any of the tree menu on the left-hand side, and that will take me and highlight the feature on the 3D model that I'm actually machining, and it'll make that the resident unit that you're going to edit right there on the program, really speeding time to production. So our new SmoothEz control, for some of our technical specifications, our new SmoothEz control is an NC graphics combo unit based 800 megahertz dual core processor, DDR3, 512 megabytes of memory on board, and then our program memory is standard for 2 megs, 8 meg, and 32 meg optional. You also have the ability to use a 32 meg SD card here for onboard memory for your program memory. And with that, we're going to turn it over to Bo Gott for a Mazatrol programming demonstration. Bo?
As Kinsey mentioned, my name's Bo Gott, and I'm an applications engineer here with Mazak in Florence, Kentucky. Today, I'm going to show you how to do the Op10 machining on this part that you previously saw in a demonstration. To begin, we go to our program menu, and we want to start a new program, so we click on work number, and then I'll assign this a work number that's fit with our on-screen keyboard here. Hit input, and then we want to tell Mazatrol that we want to do a Mazatrol program. and it will ask us to define the part material. And so to start with that, our part is made out of alloy steel. It's 4140. The outside diameter maximum is 3 inches. The ID minimum doesn't have an ID in it, so we'll just leave that blank. The overall length is 3.1 inches. The work face is at 0.1 inches. The RPM, normally you would use this to constrain the chuck maximum speed, but in our case we don't have any work holding concerns, so we'll leave that with 4,000 RPM. And then we enter our first unit. So the first operation we're going to perform here is a facing operation. And our finished stock to leave on that surface is going to be 30 thousandths of an inch. And so you'll see here now we have shape number, and that will define the tool that you're going to use as well as the cutting conditions that you're going to use. So it's already populated with a tool that's acceptable for this operation. We're going to leave that there and set our depth. Our cutting speed, we're going to use the automatically populated carbide auto. And then we need to do the same for the finishing pass. So now we'll enter our shape geometry. For our start point in X, we're going to be at the outside diameter of 3 inches. Our start point in Z is going to be 0.1. Finish point in X is going to be 0. And the finish point in Z will also be 0. And so at this point, it's a good point to stop and use our shape check function to confirm that the geometry that we just programmed is accurate. And so you can see at the edge here, we have a highlighted area, and that's where the cutting is going to take place. So we'll move on to our next unit, which is going to be a bar out function. And our cutting point in X is going to be 3 inches. Cutting point in Z is going to start at 0. Our finish in X and in Z, we're going to leave 30 thousandths on both the surfaces to clean up. And then the same shape function is populated again with the cutting conditions. We'll select a pattern here. We're going to use pattern 0 with a depth of 118 thousandths. We'll use our carbide auto for our cutting speed and feed rate, and then do the same thing for our finish pass. Then we get into our defining the outside profile of the shape. We're going to have a linear path with a starting chamfer of 40 thousandths of an inch. Our final point in X is going to be 2.75. Our final point in Z is going to be 2.2. We don't have an end chamfer, and we'll leave roughness blank. And then we'll hit shape end, and we'll go shape check again. And now we can see that we've defined the outside profile of the part as well as the facing operation. Our next operation is going to be a grooving operation. So we'll define the outside of the part. The pattern will be a pattern number 1. Number of grooves, we'll enter 2. The pitch of those grooves is 1 inch. The width of the grooves is 1/2 of an inch. And the finish allowance will leave 30 thousandths again. So again, it's automatically populated with a grooving tool that's acceptable for this operation. We need to input our pattern. We're going to use bidirectional, a depth of cut, and then we'll use our carbide auto feeds and speeds. To define the shape geometry of the grooves, we're basically defining the first section of that groove. So our starting corner radius at the top of the grooves is 0.02 inches. Our starting point in X is going to be 2.75. Starting point in Z is 1/2 of an inch. Our final point in X is 2.25 inches. And our final point in Z is going to be 0.5 inches. We don't have a finished corner radius. We have 0 for the angle, and we'll leave the roughing blank. Again, we'll go back into shape check, shape continue, and you can see now that in addition to our facing and profiling operations that we also have added in the grooves here. The grooving operation is one that's very helpful to have the help menu that we offer. It gives a graphical representation of what all these numbers do. So if you go back into the top line of that grooving operation, hit right arrow over, hit help, you'll see we have pictures that define what all those numbers change. So go back into our program by right arrow over. So we'll go back into our program by right arrow over and hitting Program Edit. Go back down to our fourth unit. We need to do a drilling operation on the middle of the part. So we'll carry it over, T-drill. The diameter of the drill going through this part is 1.58 inches. Again, it populates with the tool that's acceptable for that operation. The pattern that we're going to use is drilling through. Depth of cut, we're going to do this in a single pass, so it will be 3.1 inches. And we'll put that in for those as well. And then our cutting speeds and feeds will again use Carbide Auto and automatically populate those. We get into the start point in Z, that's going to be 0. And the final point in Z will be 3.1. And we have moved on to our next unit, so now we'll shape check again. Shape continue. And we have now added a hole through the center of the part. Go back into program. Our final operation will be a bar in to clean up whatever that drill left over. Our cutting point in X will be 1.57. Cutting point in Z will be 0. And we're going to leave 30 thousandths on both those surfaces just to clean up. Again, we'll define a pattern. We're going to use number 0, depth of cut maximum 0.118. Cutting speeds and feeds will be populated by the Carbide Auto. And we'll do that for our finishing pass as well. And our geometry here, we're going to be a linear again with a starting corner chamfer of 40 thousandths of an inch. Our final point in X is going to be 1.585, and our final point in Z will be 3 inches. We don't have a corner chamfer at the end of that profile, and we'll leave roughness blank again. Shape end, and then we'll shape check, and shape continue. And it's hard to see, but we actually have added a chamfer on at the front of that hole. One thing you can do to zoom in on that is our scale change function. And we'll go shape continue. And now you can see that we've added that chamfer at the front of the part. Our final unit is an end unit. We do not want to continue the program, so we enter 0 here. Parts counter, we don't have one, so we'll put 0 in for that. We want to define our return position as the tool change position. We don't have a work number. That concludes the end unit, so then we right arrow over, program complete. And now we can look at the toolpath function. So this is good to verify where the tool is actually going to enter the cut at. We'll go ahead and draw our part shape. And then if we hit path continue, this is actually showing where the tools are going to be cutting into the part. With that complete, we'll go back into program. And finally, one last thing to look at is the quick Mazatrol function that will help you verify with a 3D model of our part. And so we can see there that the geometry on the screen matches what I have in my hand. We know that that's going to cut the Op10 part successfully. And that concludes our presentation.
So Kenzie, thank you so much for running us through the SmoothEz controls. We appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Now, before we get into the questions, it's been my understanding that we've had some audio difficulties for our previous 2 question and answers. So I just want to review a couple of points. This is the charm of live entertainment, apparently. So first of all, if you feel like you missed anything or we didn't get to your question, we will be sure to get to it off the air. You will get all the information you need. And secondly, we're getting a lot of really good questions today about price and delivery on these machines. price on different models is going to vary, of course, and delivery is going to be dictated by your options. But for the most part, these machines are going to be 15 to 30% priced lower than previous generations. So it's a very attractive price point. If you'd like to know more or you need specific information, please contact your local Mazak representative. We're always here to help. So, that being said, Kenzie, let's ask a few questions about the SmoothEz controls.
Let's go.
Does this control offer the same digital connectivity capabilities as Mazak's other CNC controls?
Yeah, absolutely. You can use Ethernet cables for your DNC for transferring programs. Plus, the thing you get with the SmoothEz is our new SmoothAI CAM RS. So that's going to give you more connectivity and give you some more digital features.
Okay. And can you briefly tell us, how does the SmoothEz differ from the other controls in the Smooth family?
The biggest thing is, like with our G and X control, is the SmoothEz is an NC based only. So there is a PC inside. So we have a NC graphics card combo. Gives you kind of a nicer resolution and more features on screen.
Same, but the interface works similarly as the other.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's one thing Mazak's kind of prided ourselves on the years. We keep our interface very similar.
So how do we go about determining which functions were most important and necessary leaving the control for job shops?
I think it was pretty easy for us having the Smooth G control and the success we've had with it and the feedback from it. We were able to take what the C control was lacking and able to come up with a really nice combination of features and productivity enhancements. So I think that was our biggest thing, is we're able to leverage our other controls, and being that we had 3 different controls for that, it was pretty easy to do.
Just the culmination of all of our experiences and all of our development of previous controls and working with job shops helped us to find this one.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, hey, thank you so much, Kenzie.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
I hope you enjoyed this exclusive first look at our new EZ line of products. We've been hard at work to bring you these affordable, efficient, and powerful solutions built the Mazak way, and now we're excited to get them onto your shop floor. There are several quick and easy ways you can learn more about this new family of machines. Simply type us a note in the question box on the right-hand side of your screen, and a Mazak representative will contact you. Visit MazakEZ.com to explore the full range of machines and technology, configure your new EZ machine, and request a quote. Mazak's new Virtual Technology Center, also launching today, features several of the new EZ machines as well as a host of other Mazak technology. Here you can see 3D animated models, review machine specs, download information, watch videos, and more. Our 360-degree Kentucky factory virtual tour is live and online now to give you a first-hand look at our campus from the comfort of your home or office. You can visit both the Virtual Technology Center and the 360 tour at MazakUSA.com. And as always, your Mazak representative is ready to assist you. Give us a call to set up a visit to one of our 8 regional technology centers and discuss the new EZ machines and the full range of solutions Mazak has to offer. COVID-19 protocols are in place at each location, including our factory here in Florence, Kentucky, so you can visit safely. Thank you again for joining us, and be on the lookout today for your invitation to the next All Axes live event, which will take place in January. We've got more great things in store. And until then, from all of us here at Mazak, have a happy and safe holiday season.